Hey there, amazing and beautiful souls, wherever you are in this amazing space called Earth. So, I am Jasmine Balaam Murray, also known as the Healing One, and I am the owner of I Am Healing One LLC. And what I do through my business is focus on spirituality and healing, helping my clients find their sweet spot in their healing journey. And we do that through relationships, starting with self. So specifically, I support my clients in just turning into themselves, finding their inner power, owning who they are, and then being able to use that to go outward and positively affect everything and everyone that they connect with and engage with in their living. And I wanted to take a minute to do this video for Miss Satwinder because I am now a graduate of her Akashic Records training program and certification program. So I wrote a couple of questions down because I wanted to make sure not to leave any of the good stuff out. So bear with me if you see me looking to the side. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure because, when you start talking, your mind starts running a mile a minute. So, one of the first things I wanted to talk about was what was happening for me when the class came at the perfect timing. I was a newlywed. I was completely lost. As a healer, as an intuitive, as an introvert, it is, I have no words, but trying to put words to it, it is paramount that you have boundaries and that you take care of yourself, that you prioritize yourself. And so when you add being an entrepreneur into the mix and being a newlywed into the mix, I literally felt like I was just losing myself because I had so many different irons in the fire, so many different things happening. And, I think every healer needs a healer, every coach needs a coach. But I found myself struggling to keep that priority, to take care of myself, prioritize myself in connection with everything that I had going on, dealing with all the new transitions that were happening, dealing with all the family stuff, because when you get married, nothing changes, but everything changes kind of thing. So the class came at the perfect time for me because it really forced me to honor my individual needs in my healing journey. I'm great at what I do, and I know that, and I feel good about that, and I love that my clients get to connect and experience the beauty of healing in their own journeys when we get to work together. But I cannot give that to them if I am not in my own overflow and excelling and thriving in my own life, right? So I'm sure you probably feel the same way. So the class came at the perfect time for me because, again, it really forced me. I had no choice because I had to show up and do the work. So it forced me every single week to really focus on myself, to listen to my guides, to tune into my angel team, and really be more cognizant and aware all the time, more consistently of what was happening around me, what I needed, what I was feeling, what I was picking up, what I was doing. I loved the Friday classes because, it was right before the weekend. And excuse me if you just heard that sneezing sound, that is actually our air scent in the hallway. But I loved the Friday classes because they gave me a chance to really decompress from the week, take in all the stuff that was happening, filter it, prioritize it, and then really kind of ease into my weekend to actually enjoy the weekend. Typically because that was my family time. So it really gave me the ability to shift. Not only shift, I don't want to downsize it like that. It was so much more. But anyway, it really gave me the ability to be more present. That's a good way to say it. To be more present because getting to ask her the questions, connecting with the other classmates, it was powerful. Now, I should say this because I've got a lot of experience in my business. I got a lot of education, a lot of years. So I wasn't necessarily a newbie coming in. So I didn't need it to hone my skills or to really help me craft my skills. But for me, it was the constant reminder of how powerful I really am. And I desperately needed that because sometimes you do so much for other people and you focus on them, you forget about yourself. So being in that class environment online with them, tuning in every week, to the Zoom meetings, the communication, the conversation, the questions, the accountability. It was just really powerful for me to allow me to shift to my next level. I think that's a great way to describe that. To shift to my next level. Even my husband started noticing the difference. My friends started noticing the difference because I had better boundaries. And they didn't always like it, but they realized that it was absolutely necessary. So that's one of the most powerful things that the class helped me to do from day one, was create better boundaries and to really take care of myself, honoring myself and my own power and acknowledging it, being able to embrace it and enjoy it again. So what hesitations I had about joining the program, I really didn't have anything other than the time constraints, because I think when you dive deeper into the healing journey for yourself, whether it be taking on a new skill set, whether it be, just deepening your knowledge, you've got to make the time commitment. So I was a little concerned about that, but I also think when something is important, you make the time. And so for me, I had it blocked out on my schedule every single week. My friends and family knew, do not call me during this time because I will not answer, and you're liable to get a crabby response if you're disrupting me. So they all respected that. Even to the point, there were a couple of times I thought that I wouldn't be able to make it to class, and I would let Satwinder know ahead of time, like, hey, I think I'm going to miss this one. I'll have to catch the recording. And without fail, I still was able to attend, because even if I was driving and I couldn't engage, I would just turn the Zoom on, put it in drive mode, and I would send a comment and say, hey, I'm driving, I'm leaving an appointment or whatever. Can't talk, but I'm listening. And then I would just go back and catch the replay as well to catch up on anything that I had maybe missed or, wanted to get deeper into. So I think that's huge, really making sure that you are committed to the process, because a lot of stuff is going to come up and you're going to be uncomfortable. But if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to commit the time, I think it's absolutely a beautiful experience. So my next question, what breakthroughs I had? Wow. For me, like I said, just the realization how much I was truly slacking on taking care of myself, on making sure that my needs were met so that I can be the best that I'm here to be for everyone else, and enjoy my life. That was like a slap in the face, because I wasn't really as aware of it as I should have been. So when I realized that I had a choice, use this or, keep being a fool. And I chose to use that awakening. I chose to use that in my face awareness that the class brought. And so that was really, really powerful for me. I would say the next breakthrough that I had was that it actually strengthened my marriage and my friendships, because I think the more powerful you are within yourself, of course, it's going to be beneficial to anyone else around you, because they get the benefit of you having better balance and boundaries. So that was also really good too. Let me see. What has been your favorite part about the certification program? I think all of it, but especially just the accountability. When you run a business as an entrepreneur, you're always doing different things. And so when you take the time to do some learning for yourself, whether it be a conference or a certification or whatever it is, I think the accountability of connecting with other healers and coaches and professionals is always powerful. The new friendships that I developed, I don't like everybody as an introvert, and those of you who are introverts can probably really identify with that. I love people, just don't like them. And I like my space and I like my distance. And so that was challenging for me, having to constantly be so connected with everyone else and during the practice sessions. But at the same time, I really got to a place where I tried to stick with certain people. And that way it was easier to see the progress that they were gaining, that I was gaining. We were both able to see more of the benefits, and that was really powerful. And some of us have developed amazing friendships out of it. So I would say that was just beautiful and such an unexpected blessing for me. What do you think is the most valuable part in terms of the content? I love the engagement. I think when you're too rigid on anything, you can tend to lose some of the benefit. And one thing that I can say about Satwinder in the program was that, when we called out issues that we had, questions that we were dealing with, things that were coming up for us as we were going through the program, she was always willing to shift and include that and add in more information, take time for the questions, and really help us address those things, because she valued that as part of the learning experience. So that was I love that. That was pretty valuable, because you don't always get that. You get some teachers and instructors that are so rigid. We got to stick to the schedule. We got to stick to the outline. but she was fluid and willing to shift as spirit dictated. So that was amazing. What reality have you had since joining the program? For me, I never intended to solely offer the Akashic record readings separate from what I already do as a healer and the modalities that I use with energy healing and the sessions that I offer. I wanted to just simply integrate it in for my clients. But, Spirit always has plans. And so something has been coming up for me, a new program I'm about to launch specifically for mamas, during pregnancy and shortly after pregnancy. And this actually came up through a conversation with Satwinder between myself and a few other students. And it just sat with me and sat with me and sat with me because it was something that I had seen myself doing like 10 years ago. And it was like, you know what I mean? That moment of absolutely the perfect divine timing of knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. So my reality shifted, not really drastically, but really powerfully because I feel so much more aligned. I trust myself even more to do the things that I desire to do, and dreams that I had, visions that I had, desires that I had years ago of things that I wanted to create and do are now being brought full circle because now I've done more work, I've healed more, I've up leveled more, right? So now I'm in the perfect place to help do those things. And what would you like to say to somebody who's on the fence about joining? I would say make the best decision for yourself, but don't let fear be the reason that you don't go to your next level. If this is a class that you desire, if this is information that you desire, if you feel like you connect really well with Satwinder's energy and her personality, dive in the deep end and take a leap of faith for yourself because you're not really investing in her. Yes, you've got to pay for the program, and that's a financial investment. But more than anything, you're actually investing in yourself. This is something I wholeheartedly, firmly believe about everything in my life. When I pay for something, I'm not investing necessarily in that thing or them. I am investing in me and the benefit that I am going to reap from that experience, that thing, working with that person, whatever it is. And I teach my clients the same thing. And that was the mindset that I had coming into this space with Satwinder. Yes, it's a time investment and a money investment, of course, into her. You're paying her for her expertise and her time. But it's more than anything an investment in you. What are you going to benefit from this? How is this going to elevate your life? How is this going to bless you and help you to be that much more of what you're here to be, right? So take those things into consideration and don't allow fear to be the reason that you don't get what you want. Because if you're in the healing profession or some type of expertise, you already know most of the time our clients talk themselves out of working with us because they say they can't afford it. They don't have the time. What about this? What was me? I'll get to it next time. And a lot of the time, those same people are still 5 years later complaining and doing the same things. Don't be that person. That's what I have to say to somebody on the fence. If you have the ability to do it, do it. If you have the desire to do it, do it. Don't let fear or anxiety stop you from creating the life that you desire. And if the Akashic Records and the certification can play a part in that, go for it because you are absolutely worth it. So hopefully my words and input from my experience in the certification program and working with Satwinder will help bring you whatever insight and wisdom that you need from it. Thank you for taking a minute to listen to me and have an amazing day wherever you are. And if by chance you want to connect with me, I would love to. You can look me up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at I Am Healing One. And the website is iamhealingone.org. IAMHEALGINGONE .org. IamHealingOne.org. I'll talk with you lovely soon, hopefully. Bye.